church on when we lit the Grail with the flames of Christ.
Yeah.
Father, like when they did and the four of us looking at each other.
Yeah.
We did 3 lines raw in St. John's Church.
I hope David wasn't listening. No, David's game is flown now, so that's good.
Do you have the torch handy?
Yeah. Let's borrow it. It's on the end.
So basically, I found this speech yesterday and it's called Search for the New Isis, the Divine Sophia, the Quest for Isis Sophia. Steiner gave this speech for like Christmas at like, I don't know when, like in 1920, Christmas 1920. And he talks about like many things, but I highlighted a few.
Yeah.
And like regard the evolution of history from whatever point of view you will. Take into consideration historical events in order to understand human evolution, to penetrate the meaning of human evolution on Earth. In all history you will find no thought as widely understandable or having as much power to lift the soul to this mystery of human evolution as the thought of the mystery of Golgotha, as the thought that is contained in the festival of Christmas.
Yeah.
But like the evolution of history from whatever point of view and like the historical events, like when I say with like how they took the divine feminine out and to use the power of the church, for it's all part of this.
Yes.
Many things in human evolution may at first appear incomprehensible. However, if we investigate them without narrow-minded superstition, for example, the kind of superstition that believes that unknown gods should come to the aid of human beings without their active involvement, and that such aid should come just where human beings consider it necessary. If we leave aside such views, we will find that even the most painful events in the course of world history can show us the significance and meaning that the evolution of the earth has acquired through the fact that Christ went through the mystery of Golgotha. And then like specifically he talks about the different ages and how like the whole like how it's getting repeated, like specific things repeat themselves in a certain way in each of all the epochs of life, and the different epochs he talks about, the Egypto-Chaldean epoch and the Atlantean epoch and all these things. And today we will consider something which stood in a sense at the center of the view found in the cultic rituals performed by the priests in the Egyptian mystery religion. We will consider the mysteries of Isis. In order to call up before our minds the spiritual connection between the mystery of Isis and that which also lives in Christianity, we need only look with the eyes of the soul upon Raphael's famous picture of the Sistine Madonna. The Egyptian was permeated by luciferic powers, as were all human beings who lived before the mystery of Golgotha. If luciferic powers are within the human being and stir the inner life, moving and weaving through it, the result will then be that Ahrimanic powers will appear as an active force outside the human being. Thus, the Egyptians, who were themselves permeated by Lucifer, rightly see a picture of the world in which Ahriman Typhon is active, as in like they already recognize the forces, like the dark forces basically. And then like well, I did mix the pages up, but that doesn't matter.
You just skipped one and when you turned them over.
Yeah, because I didn't highlight anything on that one.
Alright, okay. Just check it.
Yeah, like so basically this is the mystery of modern humanity. Fundamentally speaking, Mary Isis has been killed and she must be sought just as Osiris was sought by Isis in Asia. But she must be sought in the infinitive spaces of the universe with the power that Christ can awaken in us if we devote ourselves to him in the right way. Let us picture this rightly. Let us immerse ourselves in this new Isis legend, which must be experienced, and let us fill our souls with it. Then we will experience in a true sense what humankind in many of its representatives believes, that this new legend fills the holy eve of Christmas in order to bring us to Christmas Day, the day of Christ. But that's kind of one aspect of it. And let us go in spirit to the manga and bring to the child our sacrifice and our gift, which lie in the knowledge that something altogether new must fill our souls, in order that we may fulfill the tasks which can lead humankind out of barbarism into a truly new civilization.
Wow.
And like
That was in 1920.
yeah, with relevance to what I've been doing, like I sacrificed my life for this whole thing, and then realized like oh, it's all about the story, oh, the connection with Steiner, and like to step into this power and our realization that a lot of it is kind of, it is confirmed in the things that he has been writing. And the Isis legend must show itself as being fulfilled in another way in our time. We cannot lose Christ and what he in a higher form than Osiris gives us, but we can lose, and we have lost, what is portrayed for our Christian understanding, standing at the side of Osiris, Isis, the mother of the Savior, the divine wisdom, Sophia. If the Isis legend is to be renewed, then it must not simply follow the old form. No, in a sense we must find the Isis legend again, the content of the mystery of Isis, but we must create it out of imagination, suited to our own times. An understanding must arise of the eternal cosmic truths, and it will be when we learn to think and compose imaginatively as the Egyptians did, but we must find the right Isis legend. And essentially it's all about like this Isis legend that he's talking about with like Sophia, like this is the story that we lived out in this time since I when and this with the Egyptian kind of stuff, this took me right back to like my vision quest. I had a piece of wood from the same kind of batch of trees that I cut on my wall, and it was like 2 or 3 meters long, a little bit bent, and it had a head like one of those flying dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And in the last week or so I saw a staff, the was staff, an Egyptian was staff, and the head on this was staff looks exactly like the head on my wood. And I was like, wow, and all the things with Egypt that I said during my vision quest while I was talking in time. I was dancing, I was literally dancing with the devil. I could see like the spirit move in the smoke, and the next morning there was a footprint inside the concrete, a footprint, size 38, hoof form. So the devil left its footprint in the concrete, imprinted in the concrete. And then like half a year later, a friend walks into that, like a Reiki master. He goes like, wow, what's this in here? Like he walks to my couch and he's like, mate, you opened an abyss under this couch. What did you do there? I put the couch away, and under the couch was the footprint of the devil. And so I was literally like dancing with the devil when I received her and the mission, when the comet Macholz, at that time there was the comet Macholz closest to Earth. Macholz is a German word, and in English it means make wood. It's literally fairy tale, and then at the end, like just for the fairy tale whole thing, like so under this whole speech he writes like a poem under this, like Isis Sophia, wisdom of God. She has been slain by Lucifer, and on the wings of the powers of the world carried her hence into the infinite space of the universe. The willing of Christ working in man shall rest from Lucifer, and on the boats of spirit knowledge awaken in human souls AnthropoSophia, wisdom of God. And how that then brings me back to like the confirmation why Lucifer left his footprint in the concrete, why my friend goes then in there, and then like after I had left, like I destroyed the footprint with like stones and stuff. I've got all that video documented. And after I left, they turned this whole complex into a brothel, and they called this brothel in flagranti, caught, that's Latin for caught in the act, with a big devil head on top of it. And you couldn't, you can't. You can't make these things up. And that was the moment, like when the spirit of Steiner first kind of showed himself in the most kind of by creating this icon of God subconsciously, like da da da, and then now we send him to Kiev, and there he's gonna find the counterpart of it in front of the Golden Dome Monastery.
In Kiev, where all that awful stuff is,
And during war, right opposite the Sophia Cathedral, opposite the Archangel Michael, like Golden Dome Monastery is the Sophia Cathedral. And like to be sent on this quest as part of all this, like it can only be this. And to share this like today here, like with 7,000 heartbeats, all of this, I've been taken back in time to the Holy Mother Mary, and then to AnthropoSophia, and now I've got the whole Egyptian connection. And with the landscape here, all the Egyptian, like talk to David and his kind of how the Egyptian landscape and everything in Egypt is reflected in here. Jamie Arthur Pickup, he did a whole thing, how Glastonbury tore. This hill has got the same height kind of numbers like the Gizeh pyramid. How like all of it is like super connected with Egypt. And then to then think like, obviously, because it's this Isis legend